I actually didn't make the high school or maybe the 8th grade soccer team. So I ditched soccer when I was 13 and I was like, I'm gonna learn how to play guitar. And that was probably the same season that I met Gep, who's in Lunar Vacation, my bestie, is also playing bass in Maggie FM. Gep started taking guitar lessons, so I was like, I have to start taking guitar lessons because we bonded over music. We both really liked Nirvana and the Arctic Monkeys. And then when I went to high school, our high school had a guitar program, so I got to play guitar every day. And Ben, who's also in Maggie FM, who also engineered and produced my album, was a little bit younger than us, and Gep and I kind of like adopted him because he was like a cool kid. He was like had a Supreme backpack, listened to the 1975. We were like, you're cool. So we kind of poached him, and all of my band went to high school together, so we started playing in Atlanta in like 2016. I'd never been to a local show before until our first show, so I kind of got thrown in, and that was 10 years ago. I had never ever thought I would have a solo project. It's something that just kind of happened and I went with it. But I think being in a band, you just learned so much about how to take care of the people you're making music with and how to value them. Hopefully I'm doing that the right way, but we've been in our band for so long and done so many things together for like a decade. We had to learn all those hard lessons, and yeah, I guess now I kind of have the privilege of like starting my own project, and I've already done that. So at this point it's like I'm already in another band. If I'm gonna have another project, it has to just be like really fun. I just love writing songs, and I love making songs with Lunar too, and all my favorite musicians are in my band, and that's why I chose them to be in my band too, and so it makes it easy to talk about everything. And when it comes to like writing credit or everyone being included, but yeah, I guess I'm just trying to make sure everyone gets compensated, and there's no point in having drama if you don't need to. I entered the scene and I was in high school and then college, and then COVID happened. And I feel like maybe a year post-COVID I was kind of like, there's no scene anymore, like it's all gone and washed away, because we were all college age. A lot of the scene I was with ended up moving other places for jobs or school or whatever. A lot of people going to New York. I kind of felt like it had washed away, and then honestly through doing Maggie FM, because Lunar wasn't really doing that much local stuff anymore, and just like playing at the Drunken Unicorn again, which was resurrected, working with Mainline and just getting reintroduced to everyone, and also touring with other bands from other cities, whether they're from like San Francisco or even like New York or Chicago. They feel like they kind of know everyone knows everyone. It makes me really appreciate the Atlanta scene and how there's always more stuff for me to discover. There's still so many Atlanta bands that I don't, even through the Standard Select series, I'm like, I don't know some of these bands that you guys are recording, and then I check them out and they're awesome. It's sad to see people and neighbors divided, but I really feel like music is my favorite way to organize, and it's the most joyous way to remind people that there's a better world out there. It really is like the universal language. You know, if people listen to your music, you have a voice that people pay attention to. I feel like saying use your platform has been so overused, but just not being afraid to just say that something's fucked up, you know? Fuck ICE. I mean, it's really sad to see people snatched off the streets, and also so many people begging for it to stop and feeling powerless. And Spotify is the biggest streaming, like probably how most people listen to their music, and they're not paying any musician enough, along with the troves of other awful things they're doing. I come from a very privileged position of Lunar Vacation. We didn't pay ourselves for like 5 years because we were living at home and our parents were taking care of us. I'm going on my first tour as Maggie FM next week. I'm accepting that I'm going to be losing money, and thankfully, because I make some money from my other band and all the other jobs I have, I'm willing to, but I can't imagine going on tour for longer than 5 days. Like, I just wouldn't be able to do that. I actually have like 4 jobs and And I'm in a like pretty successful indie band right now. That's what I have to do. And I'm grateful for it. And I'm grateful that I still get to have music as one of my jobs. But it's just not a reality for so many people. And labels sink their money into you, and you see a lot of bands with great press, all of that, the label will front that. And I know some of the biggest like indie touring bands right now, I know that they still have to pay back like hundreds of thousands of dollars. They will end up paying that back with sometimes touring money, but definitely their record sales. The important thing to remember is it always falls back on the artist to be paying the bill. And yeah, some artists are fortunate, but I guess you can't put dollar value on music, but musicians shouldn't be robbed and exploited. And I think it's important to listen to as much music as you can from all different time periods and from your friends.